We now return to Let's Play Cities Skylines. So my big plan for the hydroelectric dam just is not going to work. This riverbed is just too flat. I've tested this. It's too flat and the landscaping tools are just too impossible to get the proper height distribution of the water to make flow. And the game has this really annoying mechanic where as you use the landscaping tools to dig down, it has this hidden number that keeps track of how much soil you have, and then you reach this point where you have to put the soil somewhere raising the ground before you can dig down again. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but anyway, we're going to have to just switch to wind power. Now these advanced wind turbines could produce a lot more, and we could always just, keep with an oil power plant, which I actually do have. But even that is not enough for our energy needs at the moment. So we're just going to have to make do. And I know that this is going to end up being replaced eventually. Oh my gravy. Okay. Jeez. Should not be this hard to put down some turbines. Just pepper the whole island with them. Because we're going to need a lot if I'm ever going to get rid of the oil plant. And honestly, I don't see how we can afford to get rid of it. It's producing 120 megawatts. That is obviously the majority of the power in this town. So we're just going to have to keep going until I can get access to the next type of power plant. Alternatively, I could just download something that's even better, but that's what's really getting on my nerves about this game, is that it is just not properly balanced and does not have as many options as I would like. I basically have to download third-party mods to make a complete game. Fuck. Okay. So let's see how much energy that produces. We'll have this go from here to... Really? Here to here. Okay. Let it go. Where are the rest of them? There we go. Two more. Two more. Are these not producing, or what the hell? Their lights just haven't kicked on. I can only imagine that that is also going to have major impact on the budget, which is rapidly dwindling. Yeah. What I wanted to do here, actually, let me pause this because we're going to have to change this. I can actually just kind of push this in here. And then push it back into something new. Can I make one? There we go. Let's get rid of that so I can make a new one. That will just kind of be inside here. And I'm thinking maybe what I want to do is put some of the high densities, so we have like apartment buildings and whatnot over here. So that will get that going, and I'm thinking maybe I'll get rid of that as well because I would like to put a park in there. So what do we have? Playground, park with trees, that is too big. But that'll fit perfectly. We don't have a lot of the beautification stuff over here. And if I am in fact going to make this a touristy destination, then something like the Botanical Garden would be a good choice, I think. I don't know if I want that kind of like in between here. It really doesn't fit at all, does it? But I think maybe I'd like to add more parking lot, in which case it's not going to go very well there. But it might go well here, or here, or something, because it's not going to go there, and I don't really want it on a one-way. So let's put it here. That'll help out this neighborhood just a little bit. Let's keep it going, and we're going to change it up with some commercial there. And this is going to have to be cut in half, isn't it? So we'll just cut that in half. And so we should start to see some of these build up over here. Because I did change the specialization for these guys, and really just having them. Maybe I don't actually want them. I mean, there's really no difference in districts, right? I've got this eating. Yeah, so let's not even bother with that. Let's just, since it's going to be a regular commercial, we'll just have it as a part of that. Push that in there. Okay. Not enough educated workers. Let's just get out of there. Kind of sucks, but I think we need to do it just because there's not really an excuse to have it there. And we'll go ahead and put down more parking lot just to finish that off. And what I'd actually like to do is also add, it is not in there, also add some of these. That is gravel. That's just paved. This is some weird bike pavement. What is up here? Nothing. So we'll just use, I guess, zonable paved road. What is that? It says it's pedestrian road. So just kind of have it go out to here and pretend it is part of the parking lot pathway into here. Now I can add things like kiosks and other such things. Oh and boy. That will kind of make that look a little bit better. We're going to have a ton of this stuff now. And I'm curious to see what my... Well, it's going up, but it's still okay. Budget-wise, though, we might want to open this up to 100. And in fact, let's open all the rest of this up to 100, seeing as how... Now this is probably, if we do this 100% here, we're probably going to create more happiness, because it says so. Snow dump surfaces, so yeah, that's not really important. Too many people are apparently getting educated, but not enough are getting educated for the office stuff or the management. So what do we got for this? Wow, we're way under for education on the elementary level. Like way under. How is it possible that we need that many elementary schools for an 11,000 population city? Whatever. I can complain about that until my face turns blue, and this is why I had actually installed the mod to make it better. Because without that mod, it just... but the thing is, I mean, the reason I just turned it off was because even so, it still was not... The game mechanics, the underlying mechanics, are in such a way that without... I mean, it's built for maximum number of people in houses like this, is what I'm getting at. To build it normally, I mean, to have a stadium and the expense, the city would have to be, like, all of this, probably, before it would have the population. I mean, this was at 570, and look how much it's doubled. I mean, the mod is meant to make it more realistic? You gotta be kidding me. But it's really not even, I mean, it just doesn't do what it should. And, okay, hold on a minute. I want to, not traffic president. It can't behave the way I would like it to, just because it doesn't mesh with the underlying math that calculates all this stuff. So let's put in another recycling center. Maybe another large one. It's awfully noisy though. It is, however, less noisy than that. Could do another advanced incinerator over here. I kind of like the idea of just having a recycling center though. You know, a place that people can come take their garbage. So I think there would be more than one in a city. But where to put it, because it is actually very large and basically takes up its own little housing block, which I do not like, and we of course don't want it over there. But there's otherwise no really good place to put it. Not that would get the kind of coverage I'm looking for. So I guess it'll continue to go kind of out of town. We could put it here. It's already in a very noisy area. It is, however, noisy enough that it reaches 2 blocks away, so let's not do that. I could put it here, but that kind of limits... Oh man, this thing is horrible. This is really bad. And it has to be close enough that it's actually doing something for these people. It actually does cover a very large range down here. Alright. We'll put it here. Maybe off to one side. Nah, we can put trees or something around it. I don't even know what we're going to do with this. I just want it there so we can start taking care of stuff. Because there's just entirely too much garbage produced. One option is to tree line this, seeing as how it's a major area. Do I even have that option though? Since I'm using a modded road to begin with, yeah, these don't even come with those tree lines. So we'd have to put basically a big decorative barrier through there to try and tamp that down. But money's coming back up and so is demand. Excellent. Let's just finish off the, well, okay, hold on. We got a police problem. I can actually build a prison. See, crime rate is low, it's just... I actually don't even know what its problem is right now. Aside from just inefficient coverage over here. How big would a police headquarters... I don't really want the police headquarters up here, but... I mean, I guess we have to do a police station. Well, that puts it right there, and I don't like that. And that puts that on a one-way, and I don't like that. I guess it probably fits best here, though. Or maybe it fits okay in that corner. Well, I mean, we do kind of want it to veer over to here. And why is that one? Why is it not... I mean, what's the deal with that little strip right there? I don't know. We'll put it right here. For whatever good that will do. And even with the garbage trucks, they're at full pretty much. Round the clock going out to get people. That's actually really obnoxious. Get that sorted over there. So we don't have enough uneducated workers. I would beg to differ. But even still, like, look at this now. I've got to basically have one elementary school for each little section. There's just not enough. High school, we need a second high school too. I mean, I could put a high school over here. That kind of would act as a barrier. Fine. That's the other high school. God, I mean, this just... Like I said, it's starting to suffer from the SimCity 3000 issue, where you are basically putting down a school and a hospital and a library and all that every other block to make up demand. But I mean, aside from just turning this off and building a lot of, I mean, this whole section would have to be low density housing in order to even get close to where we want to be. Although now that I've unlocked all this stuff, I wonder if it would stay there. But I mean, think about how hard it is just to get to... Fuck. Honestly, I'm this close to being done with this game. It's just, it's too frustrating. And it's just not done right. Because my big downtown area is just, we're not going to get to it. With the big high density buildings and the office spaces and all that, it's just, it's so far away. I could get a mod to unlock these so I don't have to wait 16,000 people to do it. But, I mean, I shouldn't have to keep downloading mods to do what I want to do in this game. That is my point. Ah, shit, I didn't mean to do that. Hopefully that'll pop back up. That fits perfectly there, however. So at least they've got decent leisure activity. What's the land value like? That's not land value. Land value is pretty good now, all things considered. It's getting up there, over here. Not so much in here. And it looks like the traffic density has definitely gone back down. So now it's reasonable. So let's see what it's like at reasonable levels. Yeah, I would expect this, and I would expect this, just because of how it is. I mean, that was kind of intended. That's how traffic is flowing. We are just at a big, big dearth of people, uneducated workers for those industries. So I guess we just build more to build more, because we kind of need people. Which of course will put stress everywhere. It'll mean I need more schools, more everything. Way more than I should have to need. Way more than oh, I'm going to have to do that again because it's... The pillar is going to be in the way of the road again. That's not obnoxious at all. I mean, at this point I don't even really want to experiment with the transportation system and all that. It's just not worth doing anymore. I'm going to pause to destroy this. I'm going to get this under there, and then we'll go back to the highway and let go of that, please. Okay, well, I just put a little bit of a wiggle in the highway, but there it is. I really don't want to get that close. We're actually getting very close to the highway by doing that. And there's probably going to be a connection here. And I don't really want it. That's like really the only one that would make any damn sense, because otherwise it's just going to be too close. I mean, as it is, that's a pretty bad intersection right there. So we'd have to do the same with this one, the same with this one, right at the curve. Yeah, well, it does me no good, so stop it. Speaking of, God, we're almost reaching capacity on this stuff. Oh, fuck's sake. just tilted that a little bit. That one will have to be tilted. Let's never worry about this again, hopefully. Yeah, I don't even know where I'd want to put the prison. Because I'm sure it has negative effects, aside from noise pollution. Okay, so back on... Right. This is something else I'd actually wanted to do, was come in here and finish this up so it actually made a connection. So that people could actually get to the business locations. Or the industry locations, anyhow. Oh, fuck. It's a little bit late to turn on the notification, or turn off the notifications, but I should have done that from the very beginning. It's just way too annoying otherwise. You know what, let's just go the whole way, and then we can just connect it like this. We'll add a bunch more industry jobs. Make sure it's all a part of this. Let's just go ahead and anticipate that this is all going to be industry jobs. Forestry industry. Probably this too. Okay. Now, even though I put those down, I put them down so that we have trouble finding workers. I mean, high school has gone beyond a capacity again by 1,000 students, and there should just be, I mean, half of these people are uneducated. Not even an elementary school level. But we are making a lot of money right now. So, there's that. Speed that up a little bit. I don't know what that is going to gain me in the long run, because undoubtedly there are going to be problems somewhere at some point. It goes down and then it goes back up. Yeah, I don't know. I am just completely disillusioned with this game now. It has been so hard just to make just a simple city. I mean, granted, I don't have to put in all these things. You know, I don't have to put in schools. I don't have to put in the parks. I am still very low on the parks, but that's still not going to change the issue of the garbage problems. It's not going to affect the incredible amount... Okay. The incredible amount of power needed for such a small city. It's a very unbalanced game. And the fact that so many mods are needed to make it functional is, I think, kind of inexcusable, but at the same time, even those mods don't make it fully functional. I mean, if they're not fully compatible with the underlying coding of the game, such that lowering the population to a realistic level means I don't have any money for anything. I mean, I stymie myself right there just by trying to limit outputs. I mean, really, the better mods would be to just make this like infinite capacity and make it do a processing of the same. You know, not 100,000, but the maximum per week, so that it's just always empty. I mean, at that point, you're basically just cheating and removing those mechanics from the game completely. I mean, like, I've taken off all the money just so I can actually build something aside from a couple blocks every episode. I don't know. I think I'm gonna end this episode here, though. I like that we're getting a lot of very interesting buildings popping up in my little town. Did we ever make this uncontrolled? I did not. We want a prison, do you? Do you really? Is that really a problem? I mean, see, and this is something else I don't get either. Jail capacity, I mean, why is this in the red? Do we just not have enough? Does this indicate that jail capacity should be something in the thousands, even though we don't need it? I guess for a lot of this game, I just don't understand what I'm seeing. And, you know, the fact that, yes, your fire engines will go across the city if they have to, but at the same time, it doesn't count for service coverage, and, I mean, just... This is a very frustrating game for me. Because, you know, I play city building games to build the city. All this little nuanced shit really annoys me, and that's kind of one of the reasons I didn't like SimCity 4 so much. Because it just... I don't know. I don't want to say it takes too much effort, but there's just too much of the boring shit you gotta focus on without the actual planning and designing a fun little city. But obviously I have been doing it wrong somewhere along the line. But I mean, you can't do a city building game wrong, you know? I mean, it's a very simple concept. Whatever. Anyway, I'll end this one here. I'll see you next time.